Buddy, so I am absolutely struggling with my fast today. I'm on day 2, day 5, and I would just love to have a nice meal right now, but I'm fasting. I said I was gonna do a 5-day fast. I've done this once before, and I've said this like, I've attempted another 5-day fast at least a couple dozen times in the past few years, but I've not succeeded at getting beyond day 2. In fact, haven't even gotten past day 1 in most cases, but maybe this time will be different. What will make this time different? I don't know, but hopefully we can do it. We'll see. But what am I gonna do? I'm gonna paint. We're gonna distract ourselves with some paint. How about that? How's that sound? That sounds exciting. So what should we paint? I have this one canvas that I'm trying to find right now. I've had it for a while. It's a one-off piece. Let's see. What's a good piece to paint over? Here we go. Let's start by painting this right here. I'm gonna start with some small piece painting right now. Why is this tilted? Let's see, we're gonna pop this up nice and high. Actually, bring this down a little. Doesn't need to be so high. And what should we do? Let's get closer so people can see. Let's do this. What's the best way to get over fasting? Painting. 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 Of course. So let's go bring this a little closer. I can finally move my stuff around. I haven't painted in consistent in weeks, so I just want to start with something really simple. Start with like a really basic abstract project. Just get my mind moving. That's what I need to do. Is I really just need to distract myself from this fast that we got. Let's see, got it. Let's see. What did somebody say? So main character wants to commission me to paint their profile picture. I do have commissions open. If you want me to paint your profile picture, I can consider that. I'm open to commissions, to hiring. After I finish that, can I paint the profile picture? If you want a commission, definitely send me a message on Instagram at Hazard Creative, and we could talk business. Talk some Monet. Let's talk Money. Money makes everything happen, right? If you have money, you never have to ask if anybody will do something for you because they most likely will. Phantom KO wants to say that I matter. Can I make 67? A lot of questions today. Wow. I'm loving this. I'm loving all of these requests. This is amazing. Thank you everybody for being engaged. Can I make 67? I can make a lot of things. I can make lots of things. I can make whatever anyone wants. But whether I'm going to do it, that's another question. Gotta have the right incentives, people. Gotta give the right incentives. You gotta give incentives. This is like the number one rule in life. That which you want also wants you, but you gotta incentivize people. So we can pull out a yellow, we're gonna pull out a brown, we're gonna pull out, let's put a black here. Let's grab an ochre, a red, finally getting our painting supplies back out and running. Get a white. And get a nice blue. let's see. We should have another big white. We should have another big white somewhere. There we go. Here's a white. Let's start with that. Hopping in here to remind that I matter. Thank you so much. Everybody matters. You don't have to remind me. You don't have to remind me. Everybody matters. I know this. You matter. Everybody matters. Everybody matters because we are all connected in some way. So let me see. Real quick, how do I do this? Wherever the arrow is pointing. The arrow is pointing up to the right, which means that the white should go down here. All right, we're going to drop down our white. What's everyone up to today? Let's hear some good stories. So who can make up a good story on the spot? Who's got a good story for the day? Somebody surprise us with a good story. All right, we started with some white. Let's get in some red here. I'm going to drop in some red paint onto this. Am I blocking this? Let me know if I start to be a nuisance and I block things. We're going to drop down some red. And, you know, what are we painting today? In case anybody's wondering, we're not painting anything specific. We're just going abstract today because all I'm trying to do is distract myself from my hunger pains. I'm fasting today, so I am being a starving artist. I am purposely making myself a starving artist. Can you believe that? Can you believe that someone would purposely be a starving artist? It's insanity, I know. All right, so let's see. Let's go bring this camera right here. This is a fairly small canvas. It's like a 14-inch, 12 by 16 maybe. Actually, I should raise this up just a little bit more. Bring this down. It feels so weird having it so high. You can see how high this is. It actually can go through my ceiling if I wanted to. But let's go ahead and set up our supplies now. Why does this feel so unbalanced? I also probably have a lot of brushes that are out of commission because I haven't been painting as much lately. What happens if you don't paint a lot is your brushes start to lose their figure. Well, let's just paint and see what we can come up with, shall we? Who's excited? Who's excited to see what random manifestations come from my mind? And honestly, I can't even see most of your profile pictures. But let's start with our red here. Let's start with some of this red. I'm gonna grab a little sponge here. Dip it in some mineral spirit. What do you paint when you don't know what to paint? What do you paint when you're just trying to distract yourself and you're not like making a masterpiece or anything? What if this was a masterpiece? I don't know. This may as well be nothing. I call this hunger pains. This is day 2 of my fast. I've been fasting almost for 48 hours now. We're about to hit 48 hours in about 1 or 2 hours from now. This isn't working that well. Let's use a brush. All right, let's find a good brush for this. It's a nice rough brush. Let's use a rough brush. And what's another color we should use? Let's grab a green. Got to refill our palette here. Haven't painted in a while, so my palette's kind of empty. As a matter of fact, just yesterday. Red, orange, yellow, green. Green should go red, orange, yellow, green, blue. So we're going to put green right around here. Let's see. We're going abstract today. This is the mind of a person who has not eaten in almost 48 hours. That's purposely punishing themselves for being a human. Just kidding. Don't punish yourselves, people. So actually, and by the way, I do not recommend fasting for fasting. This is not meant to be construed as medical advice. Always speak with a doctor. But I do want to talk about, as I'm going through this fast, I want to paint what I feel my head represents. My mind, it's so interesting fasting. Like my mind is racing via my fast. I could tell my mind is just absolutely just out of control. It is racing, but it's not racing with anything useful. It's just racing with a constant desire and need for food. That's it. And I'm just trying to keep my mind off. It's hard to focus, which is why I'm not painting anything of value. I'm not painting anything of significance or understanding for these next few streams. I'm gonna try to do a painting a day for the next 3 days, but they're totally all gonna be abstract because I really want to capture this idea of what a fasted mind paints like. And I could try to force something, to force an idea, to force a paint realistically or whatever. But I don't want to do that. I just need to take my mind off it. That's step one, Step one is literally just to not think about food, which is totally almost impossible at this point. So where's that cat that I just had? Who's ever done a fast for more than 2 days? I've only done it once. I've only successfully completed it one time. I did a 5-day fast, and I almost said to myself, never again. Never do I want to go through that again. But here, lo and behold, I've committed myself to it. Here I am, just creating a nice dark muddy color. Not so good. It's great to have an activity, that you can actually do while fasting. Other than playing video games, watching TV, distracting yourself with TV or video games, that's all good and whatever. But what feels just as nice is getting lost in an activity that can, and what I think is great about the activity is it helps you get into that mental state, to really it helps you access that mental state of where your mind is at. So this brush is a little bit too hard. The brush is a little rough right now. So I want to dip it in some mineral spirit and try to soften it up. It has no give. There's no give on it right now. So let's see. Got to set this chats to all messages. Yo, doggy is here. My video makes Jesus feel loved. Wonderful. Would I rather watch a tree grow? Dude, why do you want to go from channel to channel and say something like that, Bubby? Why would you do that? Where's your parents? Can anybody hear me out there? Where is Bubby Gaming's parents. Hello, Bubby Gaming's parents. Am I speaking loud enough that you could hear them in the other room? Bubby Gaming needs your love. Whoever his parents or her parents or their parents are, they need your love. You're giving them too much freedom on the internet to have them go trolling around on people's YouTube channels. Where's your parents, Bubby? Where's your parents? Go be a troll. Go troll your parents. See how they put up with it. Let's see, how do I do this? This isn't staying still, which is a problem. I'd like for it to stay still. Hopefully that helps. But that kind of sucks because the light's like right under it. So I'm gonna have to move this a little further back. How's that? It was a joke. It was a joke. Who jokes about that, dude? Who jokes about... Who makes jokes like that? Alright, how's my face feeling? I don't know. I'm feeling a lot of chaos up here. If only I could make this stay without blocking the light on this thing. Maybe if I rotate this a little bit. Let me give this a little bit of a rotation here. Where's your parents, Bubby? Your parents need to give you some love. You need some love and attention, sir, or ma'am, or other. You're gonna come back in like 6 years from now, and you're gonna be like, I can't believe I went around trolling, saying those types of jokes. You are. I can just sense that that's gonna happen. Thank you. You like my painting? I appreciate it. I thank you very much for liking my paintings. I'm not a fan of your trolling. I can't give the same appreciation back. I think there's good trolling, which makes people laugh, and maybe makes the person, the recipient of the trolling, think about their life differently. And then there's like bad trolling. And what is coming of this painting? I have no clue. The name of this painting is Fasting Day 2. Thanks, Paul. What was different? They were taught. This is not their fault. What do you mean? Galaxy Trash has some wisdom to share. What are you saying? What is not their fault? I would like to understand what you're trying to insinuate here. Sounds like you got some deep ideas, man, or woman. Oh, the sarcasm. I don't like trolling. Trolling. Let's go around. We're gonna grab some red here. Grab some of this dark brown, brown it out. Maybe grab some of this green. It's not his fault. Whose fault is it? The world is different. They were taught this. Okay. No one has contributed anything else. Look at this horrible color that I'm making. It's just a ugly green, dark green. How did I pick up painting? So, I mean, first of all, I think the beginning to that is what human being doesn't want to pick up painting? Even people that are like afraid to pick up a painting and say, oh, well, I could never do that. Like, even they, at some point in their childhood, probably wanted to try painting. So, I think painting is just a natural creative desire, a natural creative habit. Every human being in existence, like, probably has like this part of them that's like, oh, maybe one day I'll try painting. Maybe one day I'll try to create something, right? That's the idea. Maybe not painting, but just to create something. Every human being has this creative desire. And for me, definitely as a kid, I would like draw on my shoes and like paint on my shoes. But as far as like serious study, a few years ago, I was actually studying to do concept art. So I was doing digital art, and I was studying to become a concept artist. And I just didn't like digital art. I could not stand working digitally. Technically, I never stood while working digitally because you're sitting down the whole time. But I just didn't like it. I didn't like the idea that I had to sit and work for long periods of time at a tablet. And like digital art is really, really, really hard as far as knowing all the tools and becoming a super expert at it. Because there's like over 100 different tools, and once you know the tools, you can start. Once you learn all the tools, you can learn the plugins, and then once you learn all the tools and plugins, you got to know how to like use just the right tool for exactly the right job. And all of that requires lots and lots and lots of knowledge and practice and years of like commitment and dedication to digital art. Or just like picking one trick to master when it comes to digital art. And honestly, I personally did not like digital art for so many reasons. I didn't like it. And I just felt like I would never. I mean, I just didn't feel I didn't feel a connection. I didn't feel a creative connection to the craft of making digital art. And one day I was like, you know what? I don't want to make digital art anymore. So I went to go pick up a paintbrush, and that was it. That was it. There's so many reasons I prefer working with a brush, because the brush is like one tool, right? KF says they've seen elephants do better. He used to go to school with a guy who had one arm. His drawings were talented. KF has a lot to say about my artwork. Thank you, KF. Thank you for your feedback. That's great. Very wonderful. KF with the critiques. Love it. People should not be afraid to give critiques. Seriously. People should not be afraid. But as much as I say that, even I'm afraid to give critiques in person. Like if you see someone painting out in the street, which is really, really, really rare, I know, but like you would never just be like, oh, hey, that sucks. I've seen elephants do better. But hey, I think people should be free to do that though. I believe that. So KF, thanks for living up to my philosophy. I hope you do these things wherever your heart desires. What are we going to now? Let's go. Today's painting. Hey, Danny E. What's up, Danny E? Danny E is thinking about doing some drawing herself. Today is a break out of a slump day. Breaking out of a slump Meaning, I haven't done a lot. I haven't been painting very much this past month because I'm moving. As you can tell, I'm in a new studio. How exciting is that? We're in a new studio, people. Galaxy loved KF's comment. So see, KF, you're getting fans. KF, you should tune into this live stream more often because just by you criticizing my artwork, you're getting fans. Okay, KF? My live stream is open to anybody. If you wanna come in and steal my viewers, you're welcome to. You're welcome to do that. If you wanna try to pull Galaxy over to your live stream, go for it. I would love for that to happen. If you want to pull KF, if you want KF to come trash your artwork on your live stream, I love it. I love that idea. Send them your way. KF, you're welcome to leave this live stream. I would be so glad. Go away, KF. No one wants you here. Except me. And that's all that matters, KF. Because I am the only one who has the ability right now to ban or whatever. But hey, Danny E is a long time returner of this live stream. So what is Danny E up to these days? I have no clue. I love this scratchy feeling. I love this scratchy sound of a rough brush on a canvas. This is day 2 of my 48-hour fast. And this is the painting that I'm coming up with. Well, thanks, Danny. Thank you. Yes, that's my shtick. Supporting other artists. I think more artists have sold work through my live stream than I have. That's a joke. That's probably not true. But could be. Could be. Just the other day during the show, what's the idea behind this painting? So the idea behind this painting is that I am currently on a 5-day fast, and I am on day 2 of a 5-day fast. And in this 5-day fast, I need a distraction. My idea behind this painting is really just to dive in and paint something. I really don't have a idea per se. I don't have a specific thing I'm trying to capture or philosophical meaning or anything profound. Nothing like that. Nothing profound or anything. Just painting. Needing to get painting. That's it. This brush is really stiff. So many stiff brushes. That's not good. All my brushes are really stiff. Everything's so stiff. Just play today. Don't worry if it becomes something or not. Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Let's find a brush. This brush is stiff. We got to stick that. Oh, wait, did I finish explaining? So I can't. It's hard for me to focus. It's hard enough for me to focus while painting, but now that I'm over almost 48 hours into a fast, it's even harder for me to like think. I don't even know what to think about. Let's grab some green. Green might be a good color right there. There's a nice spot for some greenish. Why am I fasting, Nancy Davalos? So, I've done a 5-day fast before, and one of the main reasons I want to do this fast is because I like the idea of like what it does to your body. And by the way, I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying that people should fast. Like, always talk to a certified physician. I got this information off the internet. So, don't take what I'm about to say with with a lot of skepticism, criticism, and, talk to a doctor or a professional. But some of the benefits I'm looking to attain from fasting is autophagy and like cellular, basically recycling. So recycling the cells in your body that are not in their peak physical condition. Supposedly what happens when you fast is after your body has eaten all of the, and I'm generalizing here, making this very simplified. After your body has eaten all of its glucose and glycogen and has gone through some of your fat stores, basically what it does is it starts to recycle or basically eat old cells or cells that are improperly functioning. It starts to eat itself, right? Your body starts to eat itself, which doesn't sound good, but according to what some people are saying, aka people on the internet, maybe some researchers, is what happens is your body starts to eat the cells that are like already going bad, right? I guess it kind of focuses on cells that are going bad, and basically it's like just recycling your cells in your body. So that's like one of the benefits. And I like the idea of doing that to my body. On top of the idea that so my last time when I fasted, it was 5 days. I finished it. I didn't have this element that I'm about to share with you, but this time I had this element of painting along with it. So I get to paint, and I think this painting will hopefully capture some of this, of what is on the fasted mind. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too, esoteric, or like trying to make more of this than I really need to, or more of this than it really is. But basically what I'm trying to say is that if there was a meaning behind this painting, it would be to capture how a painted mind, my fasted mind wants to paint, which I think is interesting. No, like, aren't you curious how people's minds become creative in various environments? Then again, it could be total BS too, because I've definitely made paintings like this before. And this is nothing new. This is nothing, that I haven't made or attempted to make in the past. But it just happens to be that I'm fasted right now. I think officially after like 12 or 16 hours, you could say that you're fasting. So that's the idea. So avid researcher, do my thing. Glad to see someone doing the thing, not just blasting music, e-begging. Well, is there really a difference between blasting music and e-begging versus painting and e-begging? I consider it fairly much the same. Was I hangry? Was I hangry the first time I fasted? I fasted like one day many, many years ago, and I was very hangry. But about 4 years ago was when I did my first 5-day fast. And you know what? Although I'm definitely hangry, I think the idea that when you're doing a 5-day fast, I don't know. I feel like when you're doing a 5-day fast, you have to know that you're going to get hangry. And I feel like there's a difference between being hangry during a 5-day fast. You're going to go through emotions, you're going to go through moods. There's a difference between knowing you're getting yourself into a 5-day fast versus just not having eaten for like 12 hours and you're getting pulled in for extra hours at work, and you didn't get your lunch break, so now you're really hangry at the world, right? It's like there's a difference between putting yourself into the situation versus kind of like being forced into a situation because of some external factor like your boss or just your personal circumstances of not being able to eat for a few hours. So am I hangry? I'm not really hangry right now. It's like I feel like when you're doing this activity, you just kind of know. But I definitely feel in my head like I could be hangry. I definitely feel like a similar emotion to when I am hangry, in the sense of like my mind's kind of cloudy and I'm just not feeling totally there. But uh, but it's not the same type of hanger that you might get from like just not having eaten breakfast, just from not having eaten breakfast, and you're having a bad morning, haven't had your coffee. Like that's a different type of hanger. So yeah, so was I hangry the first time I fasted? Yeah, for sure. But I've been hangry without fasting. So as far as the mental element of fasting is concerned, there's so much. It's very different to have a fast hanger versus regular day-to-day hangriness. Very different. Very different. Controlling my emotion and regenerating cells. Learn something new today. Yes, and again, just for your safety and your personal health, I just want to disclaim this and disclose this again. Please, please, please talk to a doctor or physician or someone who really is certified in this knowledge of fasting before you go to try it yourself, okay? Just, yes. Do not do it and say that the YouTube guy was talking about it, so now you're doing it, okay? Please. Disclaimer, I'm not a physician. I've never received a certification for positioning. I did not go to school to be a physician, so I just got this information from the internet. Because again, like fasting can be really dangerous, and here's the other danger of it is not understanding what it is. So when I first fasted, my first fast like 4 years ago was 5 days. I called it a 5-day water fast, and I would like talk about it, right? I made videos about it, and I said 5-day water fast, which means I was only drinking water and 0-calorie tea for 5 days straight. And there was people, I was on Reddit, people were like, that's so dangerous, that's stupid, you should never do that. And it turns out they thought I meant actually not drinking water for 5 days, and that is idiotic. That is just I don't even think people can live not drinking water for 5 days. It's like, being without oxygen for 5 minutes. It's very bad for you. So I just don't want to have any misunderstanding, any confusion here about like the benefits or the reasons. I just want to make that clear. More clear than anything I've said about what I've learned about fasting. More clear than any of that is talk to your doctor for your specific needs, your specific situation, and don't blame me if something goes wrong. That's what I really want to say is don't blame me if something goes wrong. That's the summary gist of it all. So we're painting right now just to take our mind off this fast because I was right. Don't pass out in the middle of something because of YouTube, guys. Exactly. Thank you for summarizing that. All right, so here we go. I'm really wondering where this is going. Like I just feel like I've done so many paintings like this already. I could make it a style, but you know what? If I was to make a style, it'd be like I feel like it'd be challenging to promote. How do I promote a style like this? Can everybody see this painting? So I'm in a new studio and I'm still trying to get a feel for the distances. I don't have a long enough cable that allows me to maybe I could zoom in. Oh yeah, I could zoom in. That's great. Oh heck yeah. I can zoom in. Yeah. All right. Hello? Get the hiccups now. Alright, so let's see. I'll continue. Let me continue talking about fasting. How am I feeling right now? I should turn a fan on. Do I need a fan right now? Nah. So day one of the fast, I mean, you know, this morning I woke up and I felt like I was surprisingly not hungry. And I'm like, wow, that was easy. But it's when you're going through your day, when you start to see your coworkers eating lunch, when you start to drive by your favorite restaurants, things that you've craved, like I almost gave in today. So yesterday I almost gave in. I actually went into my favorite food court in a mall, and I was gonna eat at my favorite mall food court restaurant, but they were closed. It was too early. So I took that as a sign to continue my fast. And today I live in the Los Angeles area, and there's not a lot of Arby's around. But Arby's has my absolute favorite fries, and I love roast beef sandwiches. And I passed by an Arby's, and I was just so tempted to just drop the fast. And it's actually rare to find Arby's in Los Angeles compared to other fast food joints. So I almost gave in today. I've almost given in so many times. Like your mind is just so preoccupied with thinking about food. And if it wasn't for painting right now, I'd probably be out eating somewhere because I wouldn't have anything else to do in this apartment. I just moved here, and we don't have a TV set up. I don't have my PS5 set up. I'm a PlayStation house. I don't have anything else, so I probably would have eaten by now. If it wasn't for painting, I would be eating. So thank you, paint. Thank you for keeping me preoccupied enough. How's this looking? Let's see. Let's get a nice close up here. What is all this? All right, let's do a nice flip. Let's flip this painting. We got this red. You go red right there. Let's go. Let's go with some nice deep yellows. So we're going to grab our yellow here. This is a yellow ochre, not a yellow yellow. Sometimes it's fun doing this though, just to like figure out how paint moves around. Actually, you know what? I could pull this out of the light so that everybody can see this a little better. Because everybody wants to see how this looks, right? Everybody. vertical. Once you get one side locked, you go to the other side. And this room just reeks of oil paint right now. Let's see right here. How's that looking? What is this abstraction, this abstract mess of a painting? Where's this chicken scratch? Am I just wasting paint? Let's do it. Let's do a poll. Is this a waste of paint? Let's do a poll here. Is this a waste of paint? Is this a waste of paint? All right, let's see what the world has to say about this painting. How does the world feel about this painting? All right, and here we go. We go build around here. And just let's see what kind of feeling we can capture. Yeah. Can you see my feelings? Can anybody see my feelings on this? So in case anybody's curious, since this live stream is about fasting a little bit, what are some reasons that I'm not fasting? I do want to share this. One of the reasons that I'm not fasting, one of the not reasons that I'm fasting, is I'm not fasting to lose weight. I don't believe in fasting to lose weight. I mean, I am curious to see how my body looks after a few days of fasting, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is all the other things that we mentioned earlier about some of the positive effects of a fast. So that's the main thing that I'd like to experience. That's the main thing. And those are the main things, not weight loss. I think people with weight loss goals should definitely talk to a certified nutritionist or a physician and all those things, because it's not easy. Weight loss is a challenge, and fortunately, I personally haven't throughout my life dealt with issues of weight, except for one time when I was during COVID. During COVID, I put on like 20 pounds over COVID. And then I was like, no, this can't happen. This is bad. And then my cholesterol went through the roof too. right around COVID time. So, I knew things weren't good, and I needed to make a change. And after that, I got back in the gym and completed 2 marathons, and I'm pretty good. I've been good since. Okay, let's see. Let's go deeper. Let's play with some black here. We'll go into some black. How do you paint your feelings? I don't know. I never really understood that. I use my left hand. When people say they pour their heart and their soul into a painting, I really never understood that. Like, on one hand, you can take it from a spiritual perspective, like, your soul is always at work, right? Like, every painting you do technically is a reflection of what your soul consists of, right? So how could you not put your soul, how could any artist not put their soul into an artwork? What's interesting is this arm's actually getting tired. My left hand, I don't usually paint with my left hand. It's actually getting tired. Doesn't have the same coordination, so the muscles required. I gotta work these muscles, or maybe it's because I'm hungry and it's the fasting fatigue that's making my left arm get tired already. But I could keep going with my right arm, so maybe it's not the fasting fatigue. So what am I actually going for right now? Now I'm really starting to just go for gophers. Right now I'm going for just some sort of just moody feeling painting, taking into inspiration from Rothko and his moody techniques. It's pulling some Mark Rothko technique in here. Mark Rothko, what a master of fine art. This is so relieving, by the way. If anyone ever needs an activity to occupy their retirement, to occupy themselves in college, to do on their off days, pick up painting, for real. Painting is such a rewarding activity. But only, I think, if you're able to paint for the pleasure of it. Like, I'm getting so much pleasure out of just scratching the canvas right now. It could have to do with the fact that I'm fasting and it's taking my mind off. But I'm getting so much enjoyment out of just getting the scratchy noise on the surface and just watching the paint spread across. And whether this painting sells or not, probably won't. It probably could. Probably will. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But this moment right now is so rewarding to me. Maybe it will sell. I don't know. I think it's really, really challenging to like sell artworks that are abstract like this. I did an art show. I had my own booth at an art walk recently, and one comment I kept getting from people was, "Oh, I like the art. It's just not my kind of thing." And basically what that means is, what they said was like, "Ooh, abstract art, not my taste." It's like their way of being nice to say that it's a bunch of different ways of saying, I don't get it. I don't buy abstract work because my child could do it. a 5-year-old could do this, right? 5-year-old could do this. It doesn't. But a 5-year-old probably wouldn't even do this because they just wouldn't. Like, what 5-year-old spends their time scratching canvas like this? You need an adult who's really, really, really bored and trying to get their mind off fasting to paint something like this. This can't come from a 5-year-old. 5-year-olds are more creative. That's why. That's another reason. 8-year-olds. They say, my 8-year-old can do this. My 11-year-old could do that. Yes. But they won't, because their minds are far too creative. They want to draw houses and rocket ships and fire trucks and aliens. They don't want to draw they don't want to do this. They don't want to just scratch a canvas for an hour. They don't want to do that. So even if a 5, 8, 10-year-old could do it, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. All right. So I'm wondering if I should turn on a fan because the air. This room reeks of oil paint. It is reeking of oil paint. I should get a fan going. Maybe later. It's going to be called My 48-Hour Fasted Mind. My mind on a 48-hour, after 48 hours of fasting. It's more like 36 so far. But then tomorrow we'll do my mind after, tomorrow we'll do my mind after 72 hours of fasting. 48. What comes after 40? It's 72, right? One thing about digital art, though, is that on digital art you feel like you could do anything because you never risk anything with digital art. You don't risk wasting a canvas. You don't risk ruining a paintbrush. You don't risk wasting oil paint. I think that has a lot of benefits because it kind of makes it so that you take more risks. Maybe actually you take less risks because if nothing feels risked, then nothing you do is risked, and therefore you don't bother. Because you'll try for some bigger, better things. So if you're visiting my live stream for the first time, this is the format. This is the format. It is stream of consciousness, which basically, I do have some filters, some verbal filters, but the majority of it is just me sharing what's on my mind as I paint. And as much for the person who's interested in insight into creative thinking or uncreative thinking, however you feel what I do is. And as well as sometimes technique, but today's not a technique kind of day. Today is a fasting kind of day. All right, let's do a rotation here. Let's flip this around again. What are we starting to see? I don't know. We're not really seeing anything here. Trash. Or not. Trash or not. Get some white up in this. I'm gonna mix up some of our oils here. And one thing I always like to know, even if I make a bad painting, if I've learned anything. Have I learned anything from this? I don't think so. Have I learned anything? I don't know. What is this artwork? What you doing, Pookie? What you doing, my kitty? I just want to sleep early so tomorrow can come faster and I don't have to keep thinking about fasting. Because tomorrow will be day 3. And once I get over day 3, it will all feel wonderful. Once I cover my canvas, what should I do? I don't know if I'm going to feel done. Like this is just a big... What is this? Let's go grab this red, yellow. Hmm. Grab some nice deep black here. Buffalo. Seems cool. You don't trust artists ever since that incident with the... Buffalo. Well, you know, I can totally understand your reasoning. I'm in a mood for Japanese food. Who's in a mood for Japanese food? I love Japanese food. Who likes Japanese food? So even though you don't trust artists, do you at least enjoy art? Any art? Like, do you like music? Do you like reading? Do you like raunchy erotica novels? Surely there is some art that you consume that you like. How's this looking? What is this? Is this a chicken? It's like somewhere between Paul Clay and nonsense. Something between Paul Clay and nonsense. I'm gonna close my eyes and see if I can come up with anything. Alright, I see a shape. Close my eyes again. See a big white line. Alright, let me close my eyes again and think of what I see. And grab my yellow here. Dip it in some oil just to loosen up the paint a little bit, make it more workable. Let's do another flip here. I think we're onto something, people. I think we're onto a brand new painting technique. Closing your eyes and making stuff up, that's what it's called. Close my eyes. Here we go. Here's what we got. I think we're almost done. Now I'm thinking, what would actually make this better? Got to be something that can like really tie this together. Does this have to make sense? I don't know. Does it have to make sense? I feel like a graffiti artist, but like with no rule. All right, who wants to decide where this black line, this next blotch of black paint goes? If you're here, feel free to let me know. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to tell me where. 19, 18, and if you don't tell me, I'm just going to make it myself. But who wants to who wants to decide where this next mark goes? This is black. I got black paint. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I guess I got to figure out myself. I got to make this painting all by myself. Nobody wants to contribute a thought. Let's go. Let's do a twisty turn. How's that? Did y'all like that trick, the twisty turn? All right, we're done. I am done for today. Let's do a little drum roll on this. All right, time to clean up now, y'all. Let's clean this up. So if you're still here, thank you for watching. We're gonna wrap this up now. All right, that brush is good. I have no clue how I'm going to get through the rest of the night of this fast. Because it would be so easy to just drive down to KFC and get their... They've got this $20 for 20 wings deal going on. And my goodness, am I tempted to order that. Oh, I should just order it and give up my fast tonight. 20 wings for $20. That sounds so dang good. KFC. You know what? I might just have to do that. I might have to say screw this fast. I guess sometimes you gotta listen to your body, you know? It's like your body wants to eat, so you gotta eat. All right, let's get this back against the wall here. Hey, psst, Pookie, get out of here. Psst, go. Psst. All right, just like that, we are done for the night. So those of you that are here, thank you. But we're going to call this a night.